On behalf of the Women's Place and the President Provost Council on Women, we are glad to see you this evening. We hope that you've had the opportunity to grab copies of our 2018 Status Report on Women, as well as our hot off the presses first ever LGBTQ resource guide for faculty and staff. Creating and producing these reports is critical to the mission of the Women's Place, which is to catalyze the opportunity for all to thrive, to bring their full selves to the university, and to make their full contribution, which does not happen without deliberate effort. So we hope that you will take those reports back with you, share them with your colleagues who are not with us this evening. A consistent collaborator that we have in our efforts to catalyze an environment where all can thrive and make their full contributions is, and someone who has demonstrated a commitment to these efforts is Bruce A. McPheron. Dr. McPheron is the Executive Vice President and a Provost and a Professor of Entomology. He often refers to himself as a Buckeye and a big guy. We all know. Say it again.
I think big guy.
But I like big guy.
Oh. Okay, well, let's go with that. A Buckeye, a bug guy, and a big guy. At our office at the Women's Place and across campus, we know him as an ally and a strong supporter. Please join me in welcoming our Provost, Bruce McPheron.
Thanks so much, Jennifer, and thanks for that new moniker. I do actually really appreciate that. I'm going to share that with my kids, who they may have thought of the first two, but they never thought of the third. As Jennifer said, I'm Bruce McPheron. My pronouns are he, him, and his. And let me first start by thanking you and your entire team at the Women's Place for all that you do. I think a little round of applause for the Women's Place and its impact on campus. As always, we look forward to what's next, Jennifer, and so we know you've got something cooking up there. We were just talking about the Allies program and how, with work that you and Leon are doing, there are medical schools across the nation now reaching out to finding out what's happening here at The Ohio State University in this space and how they can be involved. And of course, we're thankful for this reception to get together. I've mentioned to a few of you, I do my assessment of interest by how hard it is to find a hanger at the coat rack, and it was pretty darn hard tonight, so thank you for being here. Now, we've had a lot of folks. I just want to take a moment. Your staff are scattered around here. Raise your hand real quick. This is, I think, worth another round of applause. Women's Place staff, where are you back here? Up clear into that. There you go. Jennifer mentioned the new resources that we have available today, so do make sure that you pick that up, and we're really proud of the LGBTQ plus resource guide that you put together. The President and I meet regularly with the President and Provost Council on Women, so I wanted to say thanks while I have the microphone to Amy Lumbers and Teresa Delgadillo, who are past chair and chair of PPCW. We just met with them a week or two ago to look at the 2019 report and its recommendations, so that's really, really helpful. And of course, that report comes forward because many people in this room have participated on task forces to really align what we're thinking across campus. You know, we continue to celebrate all of the impact that our women colleagues have on all of our campuses. Your contributions actually are just absolutely essential. You know, I have the opportunity to work with an incredible set of people, and I simply wanted to take a moment to mention a few names, many of whom are in the room, as particular points of pride. People, women who in the past year have risen to new positions within the Office of Academic Affairs. Alicia Bertone, who's here. Where are you, Alicia? There you go. Vice Provost for Graduate Studies, Dean of the Graduate School, and the first NG Axiom Endowed Dean's Chair, which she's putting to good use supporting graduate students across campus. Jan Bach Steffensmeyer. Jan, I saw you someplace. There she is. Jan has been doing just incredible work as the interim vice provost for the arts and sciences and interim executive dean of the College of Arts and Sciences. Someone who can't wave their hand just yet is Johanna Burton. She's joining us at the end of the week from the new museum in New York City as the new director of the Wexner Center for the Arts, and you're going to love her. Just an incredible creative individual. Kate Barter and Elena Irwin have done incredible work. I don't know if either of you are here tonight, Kate and Elena. Okay, well, Sustainability Institute is a big, big deal. And it was that pair that really saw the creation of this and took it through the University Senate. I reported on it Thursday to the Board of Trustees, who received the report with really great interest. This is something that involves hundreds of faculty and nearly 100 of our academic programs in terms of impact on the campus. And just this past Friday, the Board of Trustees approved the appointment of Dr. Kay Wolf as Senior Vice Provost in the Office of Academic Affairs. So again, please join me in congratulating these great leaders. In terms of congratulations to success, I think it would be remiss for me not to mention something you may have noticed just last week also. A dear friend of mine, Dr. Javon Adams Gaston, was named as the president of Norfolk State University. And that is, my friends, a deep loss for us, but a tremendous, tremendous achievement for Dr. J. And so, how about a round of applause for Dr. J? I'll turn the microphone over now to someone who is equally committed. When we get together and talk about issues around the impact that our women employees, faculty, and staff are having on the university, it's just a real thought fest. We just see so many opportunities and have such great conversations. 15th President of The Ohio State University, Dr. Michael B. Drake.
Thank you very much. Very nice to see everyone here this afternoon. And Bruce, I was thinking when you were introduced, you said there were different ways you were introduced and characterized. I didn't want to be Bug-Eye, which was something that would have been bad for my prior occupation. So that's great, and I think that. But I like Big Guy. I think that's we should make it Big Guy from now on. Let me also say that we had a colleague who I noticed who had a title change, and Gail Marsh is here. Gail was Vice President for Strategy, and her title was changed to Vice President for Senior Vice President for Strategy and Implementation, just at this last week's board meeting. So if we could have a round of applause for Gail. And I'm Michael Drake. My pronouns are he, him, and his. And although I find, interestingly, in this job and my last job, I tend to be called by my job title rather than treated like a person. So I'm treated more like a thing. And that's an interesting, people tend not to call me by my name, even in small groups or when I'm there alone. And it's an interesting thing that you become more of a thing than a person. We can talk about that later, but that's an interesting thing that happens. Let me thank the organizers of the event. Jennifer Beard, of course, thank you so much for your organizing of this event, and then the Women's Place team broadly. And then, as Bruce was mentioning again, we had a great meeting with the President Provost Council on Women, which is a wonderful group of people who meet regularly to help both give us suggestions and guidance on the way we might move forward, but also help us to evaluate things that we're doing to look to see what is effective and what is not effective. So let me thank all of you for the work you do during the year and all of you who've come today. Now, there are people who are wearing ribbons, and I think that we have a couple things. So new hires are wearing white ribbons. Can you raise your hands if you're a white ribbon wearer? And can we have a round of applause for the white ribbon? It's great to welcome a new group of Buckeyes. That's a great thing. And then people who've been recently promoted are wearing scarlet ribbons. Can the scarlet ribbon wearers raise their hands? Congratulations. that feels, it's terrific to be a new hiree, terrific to have a promotion, and we're really proud to be able to support both. You know, we think it's really important for us to have new leaders and then also emerging leaders as a part of our community, and we want to do all we can to make sure that all of you thrive when you're doing all the things that allow us to advance forward. It's critical now more than ever that we foster a supportive environment in which greater numbers of women and minorities and LGBTQ plus faculty and staff can reach their fullest potential. We have problems that we all face together, and if we all work together, we have the best chance of solving those problems. I was watching the Academy Awards show last night. How many people, just curious, watched the Academy Awards show? How many had seen the movies that were nominated? I'm curious about that too. Fascinating how the movies that are nominated, if I can digress for a half an hour or so, in that lots of them were small movies, focusing on what I would call small topics, individuals, people and their plight in the world, rather than sort of expansive whatever movies. So and I don't want to forget any of them as I'm thinking, but like if Beale Street Could Talk, really focusing on a family and its work moving forward. The Green Book, focusing on a trip that the two people took through the South. Things that were so important to our development moving forward. Black Klansman, a little larger topic. Anybody see Black Klansman here? Fascinating movie. You know, I found myself scared about half the movie. It was like I guess it was supposed to be a comedy, dramedy in many ways. I found it frightening in many of the scenes I had to kind of watch with one eye. A lot of what was addressed in these and other films, and in a different way, honestly, in the largest scale film that was nominated, which was Black Panther, it sort of took a broader societal view of these same issues. But a lot of what was addressed in those films was the place of women and minorities in society, and how we have had a society that tended to compartmentalize and limit people and their ability to move forward. Ability and where you could go to travel, or terrorist organizations that existed within our midst that were meant to threaten and keep one down. And those are the kinds of things that do nothing. I mean, it's amazing to think that people would spend time and effort focused entirely on keeping other people from fulfilling their human potential, on not being able to participate fully, not being able to add to the quality of life for all of us. An amazing and tragic part of our culture. So all that we can do to work against those kinds of things, I believe, is really is very, very important. We want to be a place where people can come, where people, no matter who they are, can be nurtured, can be supported, can contribute to fulfilling their human potential. So the work of the Women's Place and the President Provost Council on Women is essential to helping us be that progressive place that we would like to be, a very positive place for all to move forward. We want to also be a safe place, and again, in thinking, I've mentioned these films and not thinking about, there were others as well, that the safety of the people in those films was often in jeopardy. They're walking down the street or doing normal things was threatened. And we want to be a place that's the antithesis of that. We want to be a place that's safe for people, for all people. We want to make sure that and I know that we're featuring this year, making sure that we're safe for the LGBTQ community. That's something that we want to really foster. We want to make this a healthy and fulfilling work environment for all, and that's a very active part of who we are as the Ohio State University. We also want to be an inspiring place. We used to say that we wanted to enable, empower, and inspire people to make positive change in the world a reality. And we'd love that to be the case for everyone here in the room. And I would like just to take a moment and allow everyone here to applaud everyone else here who is doing all that they can to make this a welcoming, safe, and inspiring place. Can we thank you all for doing that? I mentioned we had a board meeting last week. We were talking about our strategic plan. Our strategic plan broadly is to be the best university that we can be. We think that the university is a good place. We think that we contribute positively to the overall community that we live in. Many of us wouldn't be here were it not for the university. Many others of us wouldn't be as successful in our lives if it weren't for this or another university. So we want to make sure that we do everything we can to be the best university that we can be. And the way that we can be the best university that we can be is to include, to incorporate, to stimulate, to support, to celebrate all of us. So thank you so much for all that you do to make that a reality. Thank you. Let me hand the program back over to Jennifer, and I will see you soon. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Drake. We are going to bring forward one of our relatively newly promoted folks on campus, and she's indicated that I could call her Kim, but the uniform is a bit intimidating, so I'm going to go with Police Chief Kimberly Spears McNatt. Kimberly Spears McNatt became the Ohio State University's 11th police chief and the first female to hold the role. Just last month, January 2019. So she is new on the job, and we are really excited to have her here this evening. She served the university community as a police officer for nearly 25 years and was named deputy chief in August of 2016. She is a member of multiple national and international law enforcement associations. During her time here with the OSU Police Department, she received several honors, including a Commendation Award and a Medal of Valor. Chief Spears McNatt received her bachelor's degree in criminal justice from Ohio State, so she's been a Buckeye for a long time. And she also earned her a master's degree from Franklin University. Please join me in welcoming Police Chief Kimberly Spears McNatt.
Thank you, Jennifer. This is amazing. Just to see all these women in this room and leaders around the university is just amazing. First, I want to thank the Women's Place for recognizing me here today, and in turn, shining the spotlight on all of the women in higher education. I did not start this journey alone, and I've been fortunate enough to have both women and men mentors. I stand on the shoulders of Norma Walker, who was the first female police officer at Ohio State, and all the other female law enforcement officers that came before me. Last week was Norma's service, and we buried our first female officer. I think it says a lot about Ohio State that our Department of Public Safety has so many females in leadership roles. Here today with me is also Tracy Hahn. She's in the room. She is our Deputy Chief of Police. And if you haven't been on campus or had a chance to meet her, Monica Moe is our Director of Public Safety. So we have 3 women in the Department of Public Safety in leadership roles, and I think that says a lot about Ohio State. Thank you, President Drake. I've been asked recently, what advice would I give to young girls, particularly young girls wanting to become a police officer? And my answer is always the same. Don't let anyone turn your sky into a glass ceiling. My personal and professional philosophy is, to whom much is given, much is required. I don't take this responsibility for granted, and I am honored, so grateful, and so humble to be able to be your police chief for The Ohio State University. Thank you.
Thank you so much. If you have a glass, if you don't have a glass, there are several over here along the wall that you can grab one. And we are going to raise a toast. Don't be shy. Thank you for helping out, Dr. Drake. The beverage in the wine glass, the stem glass, is non-alcoholic. So on behalf of myself and on behalf of Chief Spears McNatt, the Women's Place, and the President Provost Council on Women, our allies, Provost McPherson and President Drake, and all of you here, let's raise a glass to all of the women who've advanced this year and to all of the women who are new to our community. Welcome and congratulations. So we're going to invite you to get back to socializing, meeting new friends, and connecting with long-known colleagues in just a moment. But I need to ask, is Kelly Hubblethwaite Johnson in the room? Kelly's not in the room. Well, we do want to take a moment just to acknowledge Kelly Hubblethwaite Johnson, who is a chair of our Critical Difference for Women Scholarship Committee. Critical Difference for Women are grants that go to non-traditional women students who had a separation in their time at university, but who return to OSU to complete their degrees after sometimes 2 years away, after sometimes 20 years away. So we've had many women through Critical Difference for Women have the ability to complete their degrees. There's information about Critical Difference for Women on your tables. Kelly served for 12 years in the Critical Difference for Women initiatives, and most recently as committee chair, so we wanted to thank her. And we want to invite you to please take the information that's on your tables and contribute, if you can, to supporting the career through professional development grants of women at OSU and also scholarships for students. Thank you all again. Enjoy.